sleeping in a room where someone died in less than 100 days. The guy telling this story is a tour guide, so staying at a hotel is a very common thing for him. I have all stayed in hotels in tourist cities. Today I will tell about an unnamed hotel in the Lat and the horror night that day. In June 2017, at this time he had only been in the profession for a short time, so it was also considered a new projection. He had also encountered ghost stories before, but those were just signs that were not there. Very clear. And that time was considered the most severe shyness he had since entering the profession. I remember clearly the room I received that day. It was on the second floor and it was room 203. When he checked in, it was around 2 p.m. He was so tired that he went inside to rest a bit. Then around 3 p.m., he continued his program, to take guests to dinner. That evening there were karaoke performances together, so when he returned to the hotel it was quite late, around 9 p.m. When he walked up to his room and opened the door, he was quite surprised, because everything in his room had been ransacked. His clothes and backpack were clearly picked up in the afternoon, but I don't understand why it was opened now, but opened both drawers. The 2 shirts he hung on the dresser, one fell to the ground, one still lay there. Another strange thing is that on the hotel floor, there were faint footprints. They were not clear. Well, he didn't think much, so he lay down and slept. Suddenly, while he was sleeping, someone knocked on the door. He went to open the door but didn't see anyone, so he went back into the room. It was about 4 rooms away from his room. He just thought that these 2 people knocked on the wrong door. Stopped, and he continued to go back inside to lie down and press the phone again. He lay somewhere for about 10 minutes, then there was another knock on the door, and this time it was faster and more intense than the last time. He went to open the door again, and just like the first time he didn't see anyone. On the outside, at this moment, a feeling of coldness and fear ran throughout his entire body. He quickly went inside and lay down thinking, if anyone knocked on the door again, he would absolutely not answer the door. He lay down and watched a movie, but his inner feeling was still very worried, but because he was so tired, after a while he lay down and fell asleep without realizing it. I feel like someone has been there before. But it's clear that this entire room is the only one where I sleep, so I just go to sleep with that uneasy mind, but there's no way I can go back to sleep. He was so scared that he took the blanket to cover his entire body and continued to take out his phone to dial it. But everything is not as easy as you think. You are inside with a blanket. But you can clearly hear his footsteps in this room, then the sound of the person sitting on the chair. Mattress. Then hear the rustling sounds of the dim moon. It's like 2 worlds, guys. One world is inside the blanket that he is covering his whole body, and the other world is outside, where there is a person who seems to be living a normal life. I was so scared that I opened a video and it was chanting Buddhist sutras to calm myself down. Then in my mouth I kept saying the words Namo Amitabha Buddha, and I didn't know it. Since he was so tired that he fell asleep, in this sleep he continued to dream. In this dream he saw himself opening the blanket and looking at the bed next to him. Then Nguyen was lying on his side, with his big eyes staring at him. He was so scared that he threw up his blanket to run away, and then he suddenly woke up. At this point, he was so scared, he decided to leave this room and not sleep in it anymore. He ran away and didn't even have time to put on his slippers, so he had to go barefoot outside. Then he ran straight down to the reception and sat on the sofa. At this time, a receptionist came to ask him, "Why are you up so early?" His mind still hadn't calmed down yet, so he remained silent. That receptionist continued to him, "You sleep in this room?" "Any." Then he answered, "It's room 203. And at this moment, I clearly saw the receptionist's attitude change completely. This receptionist came inside and brought me a cup of hot tea, then told me to drink it to relax. The spirit stopped and gave him a pair of sandals, because it was obvious that he was barefoot. Then this receptionist also remained silent and quietly went inside. He just sat there and waited until it was really bright before he dared to return to that room. After returning from that tour, he told some of the tour guides, "I heard about traveling, and one thing I know, this guy just told me that someone just died in that hotel. I heard somewhere that he died of drug overdose in the room. And I was also very shocked. When I heard that the room number was room 203 that I had lived in on the day of the tour, I calculated that that person had died somewhere around 100 years old. And that was one of the scariest horrors in the process of working as a tour guide, and this is the end of the story. If you heard the story, please let me know. 1 like and 1 subscriber. Hope everyone has fun listening to the story. See you in the next videos. Goodbye.